gotta be against the law to look this damn good. Watch out now. Cause baby, I feel real good and I wish I would. Watch out now. It's gotta be against the law to look.
Wake up! Yep, it's that time again. Vape AM brought to you by vapers1.com. I'm your host, Anthony Ramella. Well, good morning, guys. Another day. It's Tuesday today. I did watch some interesting videos this morning when I got up. I don't know why I was up at like 4 o'clock this morning, so I decided to jump on YouTube, see what was new. There's a couple of really good things on there, so we'll talk a little bit about that later on. Like we normally do every morning, we'll do some history and some birthdays. History and birthdays kind of go along with each other just a little bit, but it just shows that how America can change and also how it's a really good idea to stand up for what you believe in. So I'm going to read this. In 1978, the first use of the rainbow flag to the symbol of gay pride made by Gilbert Baker was used at the march in San Francisco. I think that's fantastic. You know, back when I was a kid, this wasn't as acceptable as it is now, and I'm really glad that things have moved in that direction. And it's nice to see people that are, you know, stepping out and standing up for what they believe in. Maybe it's time for us to come up with a vape flag that we can all, kind of get underneath and, really push as far as this goes, because we do also believe that this is a much, much safer alternative than anything else that's out there when it comes to combustible products. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I was looking through birthdays today. There's a lot of YouTube and TikTok stars and things like that on here today, but the one that really stood out to me, a guy that honestly, I loved his music. It was a big part of my teenage years. George Michael's birthday would have been today. So, happy birthday for George Michael. Just celebrating that today because, he was a fantastic star and, went a little bit before his time. So happy birthday, George Michael. We miss you quite a bit. All right. Well, as you guys know, we're going to go on to some Wake and Vape news. I'm going to start off today with something a little bit different because of something I watched this morning. There hasn't been, at least I haven't seen, any other reviews of the iqos system from anybody in our industry. This morning, Jay Hayes, so when you guys get done here, I would really recommend jumping over there. He did a review on this. I believe it released today. It must have released early this morning because, like I said, I was up at 4 and I caught it then. But he sent overseas to get packs of the devices and the heats sticks. It's HEETS is what it says on there, and kind of did basically what he would call a customer review. Basically, he just opened it up like he was a brand new person who had never seen this before because he hadn't. It cost him a bunch of money to get these things shipped over. And you're looking at retail costs on these things of about $100, and that's before you start buying the little short cigarette things that go with it that are called the heat sticks, I guess, or whatever. When he actually pulled this out and started using it, this first hit off of it, and they tried out all the flavors that they had available. I mean, I guess they're calling them flavors. They're all basically tobacco with a little bit of a difference. It's kind of like a Camel versus a Marlboro Light or something like that. There was one menthol option in there. He did say that it tastes like a cigarette. I mean, it really legitimately just tastes like a cigarette. The problem is it also smelled like a cigarette, which is not good. He found it to be very unsatisfying, and in all honesty, because of everything that has to go into how you use the product, he really couldn't see anybody that would go from smoking to that, or even from vaping back to that if vaping wasn't available anymore. So Jay, I really do appreciate you doing that review. I would really recommend you guys get over there and take a look at that. But the iqos system, I think, is what the deal is. It's just going to be too expensive, and with those little cigarette packs that are going to be more expensive than a pack of cigarettes and be taxed the same way as cigarettes, I just don't see this catching on. I could be completely wrong. Like I said, this is my opinion about everything we talk about here, but I just don't foresee that that's going to happen. The other video that I watched this morning, and I didn't get completely through it, it was kind of lengthy, but Matt from Suck My Mod did a quick video about demonetization and what it means to YouTube people and personalities. One of the things he really focused on, and it seems like it's the focus for YouTube right now, is that you cannot have any links in your description that's taking people to products or websites other than maybe your personal links. So if we can all kind of stand together and just get on board with that, that'll definitely allow us to not be demonetized or get, strikes from YouTube, because YouTube works on a strike system. So if we get 2 or 3 strikes, we may have our video and our channel totally banned. So let's just make sure we're doing what we can to keep this rolling. He had mentioned a few things about, do you think that we're going to get banned off of YouTube? Do you think that? He really doesn't believe so, and I really don't right away. I think if we just kind of comply with this, because YouTube's mainly run by bots, as long as we're complying with what they're asking us to do, I think we'll probably be safe, at least for the short term and hopefully for the long term. All right, enough about that. Let's get on to some news. So Channel 11 Live, I pulled this off of Vape magazine that sent me to this link. This is a really interesting one. So the city of Lil'Burn, Lilburn City Mayor Bill Johnsa, I would think it would be Joshua, but it's Johnsa, says Soul Vape shops can no longer open in Lil'Burn. Now, Lil'Burn is in Georgia, and what the basic deal is now is that if you have a vape shop there already, then you're pretty much safe because you're already kind of grandfathered in with that. But their new law that they just passed, it says that no shop can have more than 25% of its floor space dedicated to vaping products. Weird law, right? I mean, that's basically just saying that they only want it to be in like convenience stores or only want it to be in big box stores. Now, here's the problem I have with this more than just that. The really biggest problem that I had is that basically it says in here basically that they're trying to fix a problem before it exists. I mean, they literally, that's not word for word what he said, and you can read the article to know what exactly he said, but basically that's what he's saying. He's saying we want to basically put a law in place before this is a problem. Now, that's a dangerous precedent to set. I mean, if you're constantly putting laws into place before something actually is happening, then you're looking at like Minority Report. You know, we're just going to arrest you because you might possibly do something wrong. Well, those of us that have a mind, we've probably thought things that were wrong, but if we're not doing them, that's when that wrong comes into place. So that really bothered me. The other thing that he said is that vape shops are a place where teenagers just tend to congregate and hang out. That to me is news. If that's really the case, I would love for you guys to send me a link down in my comments to show me pictures of vape shops where teenagers are just hanging out. Now, I don't want to see about a vape convention because that's a specific thing. I mean, if you ask, where brides are hanging out and you show me a wedding convention, you'd see a lot of brides there. I'm talking about just your average everyday vape shop. If you've got, I don't know what a group consists of, but I would think at least, 7. If you can, show me pictures of that, I would love to see it because I think that is that's not true. And what he's saying is this is not really a problem in our town yet, but we're just going to clamp down on this just in case it is. That's just really dangerous in my mind. So if you're looking to open up a vape shop, probably don't look in Lil'Burn. And I guess they don't need your tax money or your revenue or your jobs. Just take it to somewhere else in Georgia and go there. All right? So I got one more thing I want to talk to you guys about this morning, one last news story. This is an interesting one because this is a study that came out not that long ago. It's still in 2019, about back in April. What I found interesting about it is I remember when this came out and what all the media was talking about this particular study, and they negated to look at actually what this study was about. So I'm going to reference this now. So Harvard, what is it? I don't want to misquote this because it's not actually, it's Harvard, but it's something more specific. The Harvard School of Health basically did a study about secondhand vape or after vape has been, breathed out, and they were testing the levels of it. So to get some kind of an idea of like a base sample. So okay, how dangerous is this versus this? So they did smoking. They did what they called work environment air, which would basically be like what most of you guys deal with on a daily basis. You're just breathing whatever air is in wherever you work at. And then they looked at exhaled vapor. What they found was that exhaled vapor was actually cleaner than your work environment air. Amazing, right? Now the study goes on to look at some other things with this, and they wanted to kind of demonize things, and even part of the article says that they were kind of wrong in how they presented the study because this should have been the focal point of it, because if the vapor that you're breathing out is cleaner than the air inside, then this product must be so much healthier for you than smoking, and that's what I like about this study. They did actually do that part of the study, and that information is in there. It's a little bit buried and you have to find it, but just so you have that information. Those of you out there that think that secondhand vapor is dangerous as secondhand smoke, or that vaping is as dangerous as smoking, this is Harvard. These aren't, this isn't Bob's University in backwater Wyoming, okay? This is Harvard. This is where we send our elite people to do this kind of research, and when they're coming up with these facts, I think we need to, stand up and listen, all right? Guys, here at Vape AM, our whole goal is to get you to stop smoking or you're gonna die, all right? So tune in tomorrow. We're going to do another great show for you. Don't forget about the I Vape and I Vote shirts. Jump over to the website, get one of those. If you need some liquid or coils, you can definitely get that over there as well. We have done some really good pricing over there, so we were really competitive with a lot of the other sites, and free shipping over $35. So enough of those shameless plugs. We're going to see you guys tomorrow. Have a great rest of the day, and I'm going to see you tomorrow.